Let me start then. Okay, we're live, sir.
You can unmute. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm going to press click so that it moves to other slides. Eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no, until the end. Okay, thank you very much. So will I see the
problem,
participants?
sir.
Will I see the
No,
participants?
sir.
I won't
No,
see
sir.
them.
No, sir.
Okay.
I will tell you if there's something, if the guys have a question or something.
Okay, no, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good morning again. It's me, Mr. Ben Puliani, coming to you live from STEM Lockdown Digital School. I am here to present today again. So this week is our week 3 in NST. Since we have been together from week 1, where we discussed different aspects. So today we are now in week 3 for lesson 1. So this presentation is for today, the 20th of April, 2020. So I hope you are going to enjoy the presentation. Then I'm also reminding you again that these slides follow each other from the first lesson up to the lessons that we are going to present throughout this program. So please, I am letting you know that because they follow each other, make sure that you download other lessons before you view the lessons that are presented. So because there is a sequential arrangement of these slides. So if you don't know the previous lesson, you will be unable to cope with the new lesson. So let me go through the lesson for today. Last time we talked about what we call matter, which is solid matter, materials. That is what we talked about. So now we are continuing again. We are entering into the other new chapter where we are going to talk about oil and what we call coal. So oil and coal is one of the things that we call solid materials. And these solid materials come in different forms. So like the same as other forms of materials that I've already talked about. So this one as well is one of the raw materials that we found in the ground. So this solid material in the form of oil and in the form of coal contains what we call carbon. Firstly, I would like you to know that these materials, raw materials, have been formed hundreds and millions of years ago. When plants and animals used to produce what we call food or carbohydrate, and then animals depended on the plants. And thereafter, these plants, they died and they were buried by sand. Then as the years went by, the heaps of sand piled up until it was compressed. Then it ended up fossilating, meaning they became what we call fossils. As they fossilated during those years, meaning millions of years then, those plants and animals turned into what we call coal, and others turned into gas, and others turned into oil. So we can simply say oil and gas, including coal, was formed by the remains of dead organisms that lived millions of years ago. That is what I can say about the formation of coal and oil. So now when we move to the next slide, you will see that coal and oil are used for different products. But firstly, before it can be used, since we have said that it is a raw natural material, it needs to be processed. Then processing of coal and oil happens in a place called a refinery. A refinery is a very complex process whereby oil and coal is injected inside the boiler. Then the boiler burns the oil and the coal. The coal will melt and the oil is already a liquid. Then they will move into a part called a distillation. They move into a distillation whereby it will be separated because it will be hot by then. When it moves to a distillation, it will be separated into different forms. At the bottom, there's going to be what we call coke, even the tar. Then as you move up, different types of coal and oil products are formed, including what we call the gas that we use for vehicles, the diesel, kerosene, even the cooking gas. So you can see these products are formed by the coal and oil that have already been processed. Then we call them useful products made from coal and oil. Then these are not only the products of coal and oil. We also have other products of coal and oil, which is one example is what a plastic. The products that I told you about, the first ones, were the products to produce energy. Now, when you move to plastic material, meaning is one of the products of oil and coal. Then plastic itself come in different forms. We have different types of plastics, such as polystyrene, polyester, polythene, and melamine. Even the plastics used in vehicles, lamps, which is called perspex. So those are the types of plastics that come from the coal and oil, which has been processed. Coal and oil also form what we call the fiber that we call nylon. Nylon is not natural fiber, it's from coal and oil. But you can see nylon is very beautiful, but you cannot imagine that it's from a black substance such as coal. So this nylon can be rolled, and different clothes can be sewn out of this nylon. So not only plastic and nylon, also other cosmetics that we buy from different chemists, they are also the products of coal and oil. And those products, they range from hair products, they range from other things that women use on the face, the Vaseline for the babies, glycerin, and a lot of them. There is a long collection of products that are made from coal and oil. So let me recap again where we started. I said coal and oil was made from the remains of dead organisms that lived millions of years ago. That is where coal and oil come from. Then coal and oil are natural materials. Then they need to be processed. They need to be processed in order for them to be useful. Then I again told you that coal and oil can be used for energy purposes, such as coal used as a raw form in Medupi power station. And the other thing is that coal can be processed in a plant called a refinery. So in South Africa, we've got Sasol Refinery, where we process coal and oil that is boiled, and then the distiller, which separates it into different layers. It will produce products such as tar, coke, the gas that we use on vehicles, kerosene, and the gas that is used for cooking. And it can not only be used for that matter, you can also use it for other products except for energy, making what? Fiber such as nylon, making what we call plastics that come in different forms. Since I told you that we have different types of plastics. So as for now, I believe that everybody do understand what coal and oil come from, do understand the energy products made from coal and oil, do understand other products made from coal and oil. And again, you do understand where and how coal and oil is processed so that it forms what you call a useful product. My lesson for today, without a question, it will end there. And then tomorrow, I'm inviting you again to please join me and be part of us in this journey. Today we are having some technical glitches, but we are going to fix it tomorrow, and the slide is going to roll, and then you'll be able to see all the presentation that I've done to you today. So I'm having a task that you are supposed to do, and this task that was supposed to be done is on my slide. It's just that, oh, now I can see it. No, thank you. It is moving now. It is moving. No. Okay, I can start again. There's no problem, so that you understand. Firstly, let me start with the objectives. At the end of the lesson, learners will be able to explain how coal and oil was formed and explain the importance of coal and oil in our lives. Number three, explain how coal is processed. Identify various products of coal and oil. Now, since I told you that plants make their own food and store in their leaves and stem, then animals eat the plants. Then these plants and animals died and were covered with layers of soil until they were fossils. They then formed coal and oil. Then we can quickly say coal and oil was made from remains of plants and animals that lived millions of years ago. As we can see on the picture, you see the formation of fossil fuels. Number one, the picture number one, picture number two, picture number three. Picture number one shows the living plants and animals. Picture number two shows they are dead, now covered in the rocks. Picture number three, now they formed coal and oil. Now coal, what is coal? Coal is a raw material mined from the earth's surface. It is hard black material that contains carbon. That is what we call coal. So coal is a hard black material that contains carbon. and it is a raw material mined from the Earth's surface. That is the meaning of coal. Now, oil is a raw material pumped out on the Earth's surface. Now, it is called what you call crude oil, which is thick, dark liquid carbon. We use oil rigs and wells to pump it out from the ground. As you can see, the black material is oil, and those other buildings on the right side, they are called oil rigs. You can see we've got different types of oil rigs. We have this one, the smaller one, they come the bigger one. This one is deep ocean rig. It's found in deep ocean. Then that is where oil is found. Now there are other methods of getting oil. We have this method called oil fracking. This method is very harmful to the environment. As you can see, when the people want to get oil from deep here underground, they must pass on the water layer. So sometimes this water layer is mixed with oil. Then people tend not to get, they tend to get polluted water by people fracking oil underground. So this one is not a safe method. The best method is the oil rig because it's in the ocean where there are no people. So it's not only this one, we also have got oil wells, but the picture is not here. Oil wells are pictures that appear, that will appear next time. Ne? Okay, thank you. Now the products of coal and oil. I've indicated to you that coal can be used in its raw form for heating. Yes, for energy, that I said so. It can also be used to produce electricity, such as Medupi power station, where they use coal as a source of energy. That is what they are using there. That long list: petrol, diesel, oil, Vaseline, plastics, nylon, fabrics, and other things, candles, tar. It's a long list of products made from coal and oil. Yes. Now, if I have 4 questions here, I'll just read them out quickly. You must know this, how to answer these questions at this level. Where are coal and oil found? You must know this answer. Number B, how was coal and oil formed? Number C, what does crude oil look like? Number D, what are the products of oil and coal? So those 4 questions are important. If you don't understand, you can go back and revisit the slides, then you will understand better. Then from this point, you can see the refinery. The refinery, that is how the refinery works. As you can see, this is where the coal and oil is processed, refinery. Then on this tank is raw crude oil or coal. Then this pipe takes it down the burner. This thing will burn this liquid coming from this tank, which is oil, crude oil. Then the hot crude oil will get into the distillation for distillation. You see this this material looks like a maze, so that it allows different types of products to remain, meaning heavier products will remain at the bottom. The lighter ones will go up. As you can see on the right, it shows 4 on top, 8, 12, 6, 36. These are a number of carbons that these products have. As you go down, it increases, meaning up there is very light. It's a gas. It's like methane on top here, which with four carbons. Now here, gasoline is what we call octane. It's got 8 carbons. It's here. Then kerosene is a bit heavier. Here is a diesel is heavier than this one. Yes, heavier. Now we come to this one, lubricating oil. The oil you put in the car engine, 36, is very heavy, heavier than the gas. So that is a refinery, and that is how oil and coal is processed. Now this is our lovely Sasol processing plant. This is our resource in South Africa. That is where we process our oil and coal to give us those products. So products of oil and coal, here are they, I've listed them. Coal and oil are also processed to make different types of chemicals. I've indicated to you. These chemicals are used to make plastics, paints, fabrics. Nylon is a synthetic fiber made from coal, correct? This fiber is then used to make clothes. Then plastics can be made into any thickness, shape, size. I told you polythene, polystyrene, polyester, perspex, melamine, different types. There are a lot of them. I can name those few. Then the color, what is the color of coal? You know the color of coal. Everybody knows the color of coal and oil. Number 2, list everyday products made from coal and oil. Where does coal come from? Number 4, how was coal formed? Number 6, what is the structure called that pump oil from the sea? You know the structures. The exercise I have for you, the last questions. What is nylon made from? Number 2, what is the factory called that processes coal and oil? Number 3, can you name different types of plastic? Now, those are my links. If you want to you need further explanation or further knowledge, you must please go to YouTube on the link that I provided to you. The first one about coal mining, the second one about oil drilling, the third one about plastic. That you'll get a full understanding of what it's all about. So tomorrow, I want us to focus on paper. Paper is another product that is processed. Before you get it on the table, it must be processed. So I would like to say thank you for today, and then see you tomorrow. Then we are going to talk about paper, but please, for today, take your time and open up your book and study some of the things in your textbook. I know you're having different textbooks. Others are having day by day, platinum. Others have having the one called Sasol. The other ones are having study guide, study and master. So you can go to term 2 of that book. Then you are going to get this lesson in another format, but that will open up your eyes and you'll be able to get better understanding when you read your textbook. Combine the information that I provided you on the slides with the ones that you get on the textbook. So the ones that I'm presenting are standardized by the department. I did not use the textbook to get this information. It's a standard information that is relevant for this subject, that is more accurate, without even going to other sites. So the textbook have further information because it is your book which you can use to get further understanding of what we are doing now. So thank you for today, and then bye-bye, and then I'll see you again tomorrow. Mr. Khalid?
Yes, sir.